All right. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat room, and then we'll get started. After that interminable line of screen caps that I put in there. Probably don't need quite that many. Yeah. All right, so, yeah. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know. I can hear you. All right, cool. All right. Let's get going here. Talking about Impact Wrestling from January, February, March, April, May, June, July, June. What is it, June? What are we in, June now? June, I guess. June the 1st. Yeah. I had the date marked wrong here in my notes. Don't know how that happened. Anyway, June the 1st, Impact Wrestling begins with them revisiting one of the most entertaining segments in recent memory. The EC3 Barbershop Quartet. They brought back the Barbershop Quartet, this time with strings. They had a violinist and I think was an oboe player or something, to serenade EC3 in his celebration of becoming the ¡1 contender. Or he's the #1 contender. And then he addresses Lashley, too. Goodbye, my Bobby Lashley. Oh, my God. You know, it wasn't until I saw this segment that it really dawned on me just how watered down EC3's character had become as a babyface. Because looking at this now and seeing how much fun EC3 is having, just he's dancing with the music and he's just trying to be as irritating as he possibly can and just having a fucking ball with it. This is the real EC3. This is the EC3 that we need, goddammit, because this is hilarious. This whole segment was fucking great. Oh my God. I fucking love this part. So, Alberto El Patron interrupts eventually, and they almost come to blows, but then the whole management consortium appears on the stage, and thankfully, Bruce Pritchard starts talking before Karen Jarrett has a chance to. But he puts a stop to this and says the inmates aren't running the asylum anymore. And then he makes EC3 versus Patron in a 6 sides of steel match for the main event tonight, with both the GFW Championship on the line versus EC3's #1 contendership. Okay. I don't know why the fuck EC3 would even be interested in the GFW World Championship, since we've already established that it means nothing. It's not a golden ticket. It's not anything. But whatever. A great segment. Super entertaining segment until GFW was brought up. And at that point it became stupid. But at least they're starting to put the wheels in motion to unify the belts. Patron won the match later on, so it's Impact Wrestling World Champion versus GFW World Champion, so presumably that's where they unify the belts. If that match even happens, they've kind of been... They're taking a strange road to set this up with a lot of different people in the world title mix right now. I still think they may come around to just having a King of the Mountain match. That's what I'd like to see happen. So I don't know if we're going to have a Lashley versus Patron or a King of the Mountain match or something. I think King of the Mountain makes more sense right now. And it would be nice to see King of the Mountain at Slammiversary again. But yeah, really entertaining until the GFW crap started. But yeah, give us more of this EC3, please. This was this was hysterical. So we move on from that to a grand title match with Eli Drake versus Moose. And I'm really nervous that they're just sacrificing Eli Drake to Moose as a warm-up for Moose feuding with Chris Adonis. And it's fucking stupid, because nobody likes Chris Adonis. The guy is boring as hell. No one cared about him. When he was in WWE and we're getting shoved down our throats, no one cared about him. He doesn't even look like an Adonis anymore. He's stupid. He's boring. Eli Drake is the guy they should be pushing. And I don't know. I heard Adonis was injured or something. So maybe Eli Drake will end up getting the push that was no doubt originally intended for Adonis, but I don't know, fingers crossed on that. So yeah, this is the match that was set up last week, and Eli Drake gets a grand title shot, and he, after a brief flurry of offense from Moose, Eli Drake goes on the offensive, and he actually ends up winning round 1. Dominated most of the round, actually. Okay, good. And he's also winning round 2 until Moose gets in another flurry of offense at the end. He drop kicks him off the turnbuckle, then hits the pop-up powerbomb and the senton and the moonsault all in rapid succession. And Moose ends up winning round 2, although you could make the argument that Eli Drake also won round 2. It's kind of controversial, I guess. And then Moose is winning round 3 until Chris Adonis grabs him and Eli Drake gets in one last move before the bell. And Moose ends up winning the decision. But Eli Drake looks, he suspects foul play or whatever, because you could make the argument that Eli Drake won that match, did enough to win that match. So it's a win for Moose, but Eli Drake looks strong. So he didn't get buried here, which is nice. And there's an argument for a rematch there, also nice. If they wanted to have a rematch at Slammiversary, where hopefully Eli Drake could get the win, I'd be on board with that. But yeah, alright, good segment. Eli Drake getting some TV time here and not playing second fiddle to Adonis. Adonis is there, but Eli Drake is getting the focus here. He's got the match. He looks strong against Moose. Okay, all good things. Good. Alright, we're in good shape here. We go backstage for an Allie interview. She's talking about why Rosemary helped her out last week. She's confused. She doesn't know what's going on. And doesn't know why Rosemary would want to help her. And then Rosemary appears and says, the Hive calls out to her to protect Allie for reasons. We don't know what those reasons are, but Allie is confused as we are, and they're casting some doubt into what Rosemary's intentions actually are with Allie here. We don't know. Allie doesn't know. It's all kind of a mystery, and that's part of the fun. Because it could be a couple different things. That's the beauty of Rosemary's character, is that you really don't know why she does what she does. And this is something that you'd never really expect her to do, because it's Cherry Bomb. They hate each other. But now, suddenly she's helping her out. It's like, what? What's going on here? I don't know. I'm really excited to find out. I love that these two are finally interacting. So I'm chomping at the bit to find out more about this. And this is already the most interesting thing the Knockouts have going for them right now with these two. So give us more of this, please. And we go back to the ring where Allie is facing Amber Nova. I have no idea who Amber Nova is. I'd never heard of her until I saw her pop up in the show reports. Looks like $1 million. Jesus Christ. Yeah, she's nice to look at. I will say, Allie has new music, and it is terrible. This is the most instantly forgettable, generic musical track you've ever heard. What the fuck? I mean, Allie's old music wasn't great, but it was better than this crap. I mean, this is one of your next big knockout superstars. Where's the effort, Dale Oliver? You couldn't put in a little bit of effort to give her some decent music? What the fuck? This music is awful. It's like, I don't know, it's like something he just slapped together over his lunch break or something. It's fucking terrible. So, yeah, it's basically another squash match. Allie, there's subtle signs that they're progressing Allie's character here, because she gets angry in this match. She shows that she can get aggressive when she has to. So she's not just like the meek little novice anymore. She's showing that she can get angry and go on the offensive, and she gets the win here. And this is one of those examples of a squash match being not necessary, but effective and helpful, because this is a character that you can build up with squash matches. It's not like when you put Bobby Lashley in a squash match that just feels like complete filler and totally pointless. What's the point? Because to show that Lashley is a badass who can beat people up, yeah, we already knew that. But with Allie, it makes sense because she's playing the newbie who can't really wrestle, but she's learning how and she's making progress, and this is effective in showing that. I loved her reaction afterward too. She looks shocked that she won, and then she's hugging everybody. She hugs Amber Nova, even. So, okay. All right, fine for a squash match. Kind of strange that Sienna and LVN never came out. I was kind of expecting them to show up and do something there, but they didn't. I don't think they even appeared on this show, which is strange. Wouldn't you want to progress that? Kind of feels like we're just spinning our wheels there. They were beating her down, attacking her last week. Rosemary runs them off. And then they don't even come out the next week to get in Allie's face? Very strange. All right, so, we move on from that to the finals of the GFW Tag Team Tournament. LAX versus the Veterans of War. No DQ match, apparently. I don't know when this was announced. Was it announced? I didn't know it was a no DQ match until the match started. What I did think was kind of cool is that they actually make use of the no DQ stipulation here, because like all 5 members of LAX basically just gang up on Wilcox, and there's nothing they can do. What are you going to do? Call it DQ? You can't. It's no DQ. So they're taking advantage of that because they're heels, and that's what they do. And that it makes sense that a big heel faction would do something like this. So, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense there. So it progresses like that. They're isolating Wilcox there. But the momentum changes after a while. Wilcox has the match won at one point, but Diamante pulls the referee out. And then Conan hits Crimson with like a pipe on the outside, and they hit their powerbomb blockbuster combo on Wilcox, and LAX win the GFW tag titles. So I guess those titles are unified now. So will this be the last we have to hear about the GFW tag team titles? Please say yes. I don't want to hear about this shit anymore. So I guess those titles are unified now. Okay, fine. Yeah, good. Whatever. Let's move on now. Okay match. I think the first few minutes weren't totally clicking, but it got better later on. And yeah, I really love LAX's finisher. That is a really cool finisher. So I guess LAX are the unified champions now, but I'm assuming because of the way this match played out that the feud is going to continue. I'm fine with that. Although I would like to see Laredo Kid and Garza Jr. be added to this. Because, a lot of people are painting the Garza Jr. with the future star brush. So let's get those guys in the mix. They're a good team. Yeah, let's give those dudes something to do. And after this, we have, thankfully, a title match for an Impact Wrestling Championship. We have an X Division title match, low-key defending against Andrew Everett, so at least Andrew Everett is still in the mix, even though his feud with Trevor Lee has kind of been sidelined in favor of the GFW guy being put in the title picture instead. Still a little salty about that. So while this match is going on, you got Sanjay Dutt on commentary, and this is kind of where the focus was. The match is just something to do while Sanjay is talking, really. And so he's got the eye patch on, still healing up from the eye injury. But he suggests that low-key injured his eye to take him out on purpose because he perhaps low-key feels threatened by Sanjay because they both came back at the same time, both going for the X Division title at the same time. And, oh yeah, low-key injured me. I think he was on to me. He wanted me out of the picture because he knows I can beat him or some stuff like that. He feels threatened by me because we both wanted the title at the same time. And honestly, it kind of sounds like BS to me. Look, I like Sanjay, but let's be honest here. Low-key is the proven star. He's the renowned badass, the multi-time champion, and Sanjay, for all his talent as a wrestler, has always been a utility player. You know, throughout all his time in this company, he's been a utility player. So why would low-key feel threatened by this guy? I'm just saying. No disrespect to Sanjay, because I like the guy, but he really didn't make a great case for himself here. In terms of low-key feeling threatened by Sanjay, no. Sanjay doesn't really have an argument here. I think maybe if he'd explained his case better, he could have come up with one, but he really didn't, unfortunately for him. And so Sanjay also hints that he wants to face low-key for the X Division title when they go to India and film TV shows over there. My question is, what's Sanjay going to do to earn a title shot? Because he hasn't really done anything. He had a shot in a multi-man title match. He got injured. He lost the match. And he hasn't done anything since. So why should Sanjay get a title shot? If he wants to earn one first by maybe winning a number one contenders match, okay. But he doesn't say anything about that. He just says, yeah, I'd like to challenge for the... I'm thinking about challenging for the title when we go to India. Dude, you're skipping a few steps there. You gotta earn a title match first. It just seems... I don't know. Honestly, Sanjay comes off as a little entitled here, and I'm pretty sure that was not the intention, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a case of him not really being a natural speaker. I get the feeling if it had been low-key in this position, he would have made his case a lot better. But yes, he's just not the most charismatic talker Sanjay is, unfortunately. And I feel like he was supposed to come off a lot better here than he ended up doing. All right, you want a title match. I get that. I don't have a problem with him getting a title match, but you got to earn one. You can't just come out and demand one because you want it. You know? So unfortunately, Sanjay felt a little entitled when he tried to make his argument here. Good match, by the way. Andrew Everett botched a springboard move, but otherwise, really good stuff here. Low-key gets the knees up on Everett's shooting star press, and then he wins with the Warrior's Way. Really good stuff. And hopefully Andrew Everett won't be forgotten in the title picture, even though it seems like he's out of it now. And then Low-Key and Sanjay had the stare down. Again, they had one during the match. He was like, "What, you haven't learned your lesson yet?" It's a good point. Because he's had many chances at the X Division title, never got the job done. Had another one, got injured, lost the match, and he's still out here. Fortunately, Sanjay does... I think the intention is for Sanjay to come off sympathetic here, but even though Low-Key is being a bit of a jerk, it's like, hey, look, this is reality. I'm just better than you. I'm not saying it to be a dick, but this is the way things are. You just need to accept it. Even though Low-Key is presented as being the more heelish of the two, I'm kind of siding with him. Because he's got the more convincing case. He's, the more charismatic, unfortunately for Sanjay, so I'm kind of on his side here. Simply but due to the fact that Sanjay just didn't make a good case for himself. So, probably not the outcome TNA were hoping for. And then, oh boy, Hornswoggle's back. We saw him a couple times previously in the night, how he was in the crowd. And then Rockstar Spud finally appears, jumps him from behind, and beats Hornswoggle with a hammer. And, you know what? Gotta be honest, I kind of enjoyed that, because I have wanted to do that to Hornswoggle for years. Or at least see somebody do that to Hornswoggle. That was very cathartic. Thank you, Rockstar Spud. The weird thing about this is, the announcers were kind of siding with Hornswoggle. They were sympathetic. It was like, why? Hornswoggle doesn't deserve this. What is Spud doing here? What the fuck? Do they all have short-term memory loss? Do they forget that this is pretty much exactly what Hornswoggle did to Spud? With no provocation? Yeah, Hornswoggle just, a couple weeks ago, Hornswoggle just showed up and beat Rockstar Spud. As stupid as that was, they've been selling it for weeks. Spud saying how he was struggling to recover, struggling to learn how to walk again, and whatever. Okay, it was played for laughs, but it was still there, and now Spud's coming back, gets revenge on Hornswoggle, does the same thing that Hornswoggle did to him, and we're supposed to feel bad for Hornswoggle now? Why? As far as I can see, the little shit got what he deserved. And with any luck, Rockstar Spud crippled him, and we won't see him again. Thank you, Rockstar Spud. This feud is really stupid. Why are we supposed to feel bad for Hornswoggle? It makes... Christ's sake. Here's something surprising. TNA are bringing live events back. Impact Wrestling are. And they're actually advertising them. Look. Look at this. How about that, right? An actual advertisement for a live event. Advertising's always been their Achilles heel of this company. You know, I've been to several Impact Wrestling live events over the years. None of them recently because they haven't, well, even before they stopped doing live events, they hadn't been to my area in a while. But in all the live events I've been to, you know how much actual advertising I've seen for them, like combined? 0. Not a radio ad, not a TV ad, not an internet ad, not nothing. That was actually the first advertisement for any live event that I've ever seen for this company. So if they're actually doing something to get the word out that they're bringing live events back, that could only be a good thing. Whether they'll actually be able to draw a crowd for this thing is another question. But they're trying. They're trying to make people aware that this thing exists. So, good. That's a step in the right direction. I don't know if bringing live... I think bringing live events, plural, back might be getting a little ahead of themselves. I think best way to go about this, just be careful about it. Do it slowly. Before you want to bring live events, plural, back, try bringing back live events, singular. Do one live event, promote the hell out of it, see if you can draw a crowd. And if you end up making a profit on that one, great. Then announce another one. Promote the hell out of that one. See if you can make a profit on that one. If you make a profit, announce a couple more. Do it slowly. Don't just bring them all back, all at once. See if you can tread water before you start to swim, I'm just saying. Excuse me. And now, the main event of the evening. EC3 in his #1 contendership versus Alberto El Patron in his GFW championship. Okay, great match. Great cage match here. Punctuated by some pretty cool spots here. You had EC3 hitting the Samoan drop on Patron from the top rope. That spot at the end, Jesus Christ. Patron hitting the double stomp where EC3 is tied up in the turnbuckle. It's a double stomp from the top of the cage. It's one of those spots where you kind of want to make sure the other guy, want to get like the officials, excuse me, where you kind of want officials to get in there to make sure the other guy is still alive. Because, Jesus Christ, that was an insane spot at the end there. Holy shit. Patron wins. #1 contendership and the right to face Lashley at Slammiversary. So it's going to be GFW title versus Impact Wrestling title. Presumably that's where they unify the belts if they're doing a one-on-one match. I'm not convinced that they are. I still think, with all the different people involved in the title picture right now, EC3, James Storm, I think it makes more sense to do King of the Mountain. I would prefer to see King of the Mountain. I'm not sure if that's where they're going, but I think that's where they should go. But we'll see. Right now, as of this episode, we're looking at a one-on-one Patron versus Lashley. Okay. That would also make sense, I guess, because Patron does technically have a win over Lashley. Ended in controversy, but I guess it still counts somehow. And they never had a rematch for some reason. They kind of put that off. I don't know why. Maybe they were saving it for this. I guess. So I guess it would make sense to do one-on-one. I still want to see King of the Mountain, though. So that was it. Good Impact overall, but they gotta knock it off with this GFW garbage. I cannot stress enough how much nobody fucking cares. I'm watching Impact Wrestling here. If I want to hear about GFW nonstop, I'll watch GFW Amped. Oh wait, I can't. You know why, Jeff Jarrett? Because that show doesn't fucking exist. GFW never went anywhere. It failed. Get over it. If this is building up to unifying all the championships, then let's just unify the damn things already and move on. Because I'm fucking sick of hearing about global farce wrestling every week. The rest of the show was good. The EC3 segment was hilarious. They can bring back that barbershop quartet anytime. I will never complain about that. Yeah, Eli Drake got some much-deserved TV time. Got to look strong against Moose despite eating a loss. The main event was awesome. And even though they had to continue with this stupid Hornswoggle crap, at least we got to see that little shit get his ass kicked. And with any luck, Rockstar Spud broke both his legs with that hammer, and that'll be the last time we see him on this show. Great. Voice is already starting to die out. Okay. Oh, yeah. Alright, I did put the wrong date in the title there. There we go. Allie fought someone from the garage. Yeah. Garage. Look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants, David Penzer. It's called a car hole. Damn it. Rosemary and Allie was a cool segment, but I think Rosemary will turn on her eventually. Yeah, possibly. I don't think there's a danger of that happening soon, though, because Rosemary just turned face and people are reacting really well to her. So I just think babyface Rosemary, at least in the short term, is the right way to go. I mean, they can play it off like mysterious, like what are Rosemary's true intentions to Allie? I mean, they can keep the option of her turning on Allie, and they can keep that on the table without actually doing it for a while. I think that's part of the fun, that you don't know what Rosemary's plan for Allie is, but you're really intrigued, so I like that. What do you think of the death of the grand title upcoming? If they want to ditch the 3-round point system, I'm fine with that. It was a fun idea to try, but I don't think it's ever really clicked completely. So if they want to do away with that, I'm fine with it. Kind of funny how they bring in these knockout jobbers and they get backstage reactions, which is odd because they're jobbers. Yeah, Amber Nova had like a backstage promo. I think they're doing this. They're calling it like hashtag last word or something, which is I think it's basically just an excuse to do promos, take promos that should be on the show and then put them on the YouTube page instead. Because I think Eli Drake had one too. I'm like, why the fuck wasn't that on the show? Why are they putting these on the YouTube page? I don't know. Yeah, kind of weird that they gave Amber Nova one of them. Maybe they're planning to bring her back. I would not be against seeing her again because she's really nice to look at. Who does LAX face now? I'm assuming they continue feuding with the Veterans of War for the short term, considering how this match wasn't played out. Not an entirely fair match, obviously. So maybe it builds up to a match where the other members of LAX can't interfere and they get a fair and BOW get a fair match. I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. Would you say that Allie and Rosemary are the two most popular knockouts in the division? Probably. I think Impact Wrestling would still have us believe that it's Gail Kim. But, they've always been biased towards Gail. Are Allie and Rosemary the two most popular? At present time, yeah, that would be my guess. You think Allie will turn heel instead? Nah, I don't think so. I think Allie is too over as a babyface right now. There's no reason to turn her heel right now. In the future, sure. When the time and place are right for it. Right now, it's not the right time. Bruce said solid steel cage. Solid steel cage. Yeah. That's an impossible Joe versus Lesnar match. Samoa Joe hasn't been built up enough to where I really buy him versus Brock Lesnar. I'd like to see it. I have no illusions about the outcome. And Joe is still really new in WWE main roster, and they're talking about him having a match with Brock Lesnar. I think it'll be cool to see, but you haven't built up this character enough where it really makes sense. Love the quartet, though I think they should have turned up the volume on their mics a bit. I'd rather have them replace EC3's entrance music, just have him sing him. Yeah, that would be funny, wouldn't it? Wouldn't the wrestlers use the tie low-key has to their advantage? Yeah. But they don't, I'm assuming for the same reason why the other knockouts don't just step on LVN's feet when they have a match with her, because she's not wearing boots right now. I think it's just one of those things you have to chalk up to the willing suspension of disbelief. Let's see. Thoughts on Wonder Woman? Okay. I saw Wonder Woman last night. For the most part, I really liked it. I think there were some moments where the CG was less than impressive and some pretty regrettable green screen effects in the first act. Also, there were a couple scenes that weren't lit very well. They were really dark, kind of too dark, where it was almost kind of hard to see what was going on. Overall, those are pretty minor complaints. I think I have no great affinity for the Wonder Woman character, so I wasn't super invested in it. But I think the movie came together really nicely. I think the casting was on point, although Ares was kind of opinions may vary on Ares. Yeah, I thought Gal Gadot did really well. Chris Pine was terrific, and the really nice thing about the movie is that I think it got right something that the Ghostbusters remake got completely wrong, in that it understood that you can have a quote unquote girl power movie that lifts up the female characters, and it can do that without pushing the male characters down. So yeah, it's not anti-male. It's a female-led superhero movie. So obviously it's going to be, it's got that female empowerment message, but it doesn't do that at the cost of making men look like idiots or shooting them in the dick or whatever. Because with Ghostbusters, you saw that it's a female-led movie, so we got to make all the men look like dumbasses and make them look terrible and like cowards and play them for. Make every man a walking punchline, and we gotta shoot the male villain in the dick because he's a man, therefore he sucks and whatever. God, fuck that movie. But no, here it's, the male characters are treated with respect. They're not. It doesn't feel mean-spirited and everything just because it's a female-led, You get a female superhero in the main spot, but the male characters do stuff too. They make contributions. They have real characters and stuff. I'm like, all right, good. Yeah, this feels like fair. It doesn't feel like they're coming at it with an obvious agenda like Ghostbusters did. So yeah, action was on point. I think it got a little too CG heavy in the final battle or whatever, but I don't have a ton of thoughts on it. I just overall I really enjoyed the movie, and I'm glad it's doing well at the box office. Good cast, good acting for the most part. They had quiet moments in there. They got the character right. There was humanity there. I think this was a big step forward for the DCEU. This feels more like what the DCEU should be, because it's not just all like completely bleak and like desaturated and like dark and grim. So they're the character is there to inspire hope, and that's not it's not a bad thing, So I think if they go more in this direction and get away from Zack Snyder's Murderverse, DCEU will be in better shape. So I think this was probably the best film of the DCEU so far. So yeah, I enjoyed Wonder Woman a lot. Okay. Eli Drake easily won the second round. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So it does kind of feel like he got screwed there. So Eli Drake ends up looking strong, even though Moose won the match because of reasons, I guess. So he has a good argument for a rematch there. Because it's kind of like, well, why the fuck didn't he win round two? It didn't really make sense. Let's see. Problem is, Moose has looked bad most of his grand title run with him just barely winning. Yeah, well, he still wins, though. Haven't really felt there was a problem there. I like Chris Adonis. WWE dropped the ball with him. He was improving a lot in his final days there. I think you should give him a shot. Well, anything's possible, I guess. I've never been interested in the guy. Always thought he was pretty boring. Character-wise, the guy never caught my attention. Maybe he's gotten better as a wrestler. I don't know. I haven't seen him wrestle in a long time. But, I don't know. Has he gotten any better on the mic? Beats me. See, Rosemary's justification for saving Allie actually made sense, because now she can be unpredictable. Yeah, alright. Thoughts on Amber Nova? She looks like $1 million. Her backstage promo wasn't the worst thing ever. It was probably just done off the cuff. Wasn't given a script or anything, I suspect, but yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing more of her. Obviously pretty green, but I think there's potential there. Why was Tyrus out there with Bruce Pritchard? I thought Tyrus was supposed to be with Eli Drake. I don't know. I think they seem to have ended that. I guess off screen. Okay, fine. So I guess Tyrus is just going to be Bruce Pritchard's heavy or bodyguard now. I'll take that over him being paired with Eli Drake. Is anything that gets Tyrus away from Eli Drake, I'm on board with. You can stop dragging Eli Drake down. You can just stick him with Pritchard. Have him drag Pritchard down. No one cares about Pritchard anyway. Kind of liked how Amber said that after the match, Allie can't win without Braxton helping her out. But did Braxton help her out? He didn't really do anything. He was like shouting encouragement at ringside, but that's basically it. I mean, Allie won the match on her own. Allie is so perfect. She's the greatest actress in wrestling despite the tongue, which implies naughtiness in bed. She still pulls it off masterfully. Take notes, Bailey. Yeah, I said this on Twitter. Allie is Bailey done right. It's kind of a similar gimmick. They're both supposedly playing underdogs. Like the nice girl, like the sweet girl next door type. But the booking with Allie is so much more effective, and that she's actually booked like an underdog, whereas Bailey came onto the main roster and was immediately put in the top mix, won the title too damn quickly. She's been booked way too strongly, and now she's not really an underdog anymore. And that they kind of always presenting her like that. Plus, Allie is way better on the mic. I'm sorry, Bailey flat out sucks on the microphone. Sucks. Promos are horrible. And I think you're kind of seeing the early stages of the crowd starting to turn against her. And now that she's feuding with Alexa Bliss, who is miles better as a talker, I would say arguably the best female talker on the main roster that they have. And it's just shining a spotlight on how bad and how cringeworthy Bailey's promos actually are. So yeah, they completely fucked up the Bailey character. Raw did. Whereas Allie's character, minus some situations where the focus was taken off her wrongly, her character has been booked very well. There's been a gradual, slow progression there, where she's a non-wrestler, then she's a novice, and she doesn't really know what to do. She's starting to train, starting to get more experience, and gradually leveling up. And gradually becoming more of a threat. This is what they should have done with Bailey. I think it's what they did do with Bailey in NXT, but then she came up to the main roster and they fucking ruined it. But no, they're taking like the NXT Bailey approach with Allie, and they're doing it right, whereas WWE is getting Bailey completely wrong now. Ugh. Amber Nova was okay, but she didn't impress me. I don't think she was meant to impress anybody. I think she's pretty sure she's still a rookie. The VOW were brought in to be fed to LAX. I predicted this 2 weeks ago. Well, they are kind of at a shortage of tag teams right now. They got to feud LAX with somebody, and I don't think they're being fed to LAX because LAX had to team up on, had to gang up on them. They needed three extra people to help them win that match. So yeah, VOW lost. It's not like they were buried there. And I'm pretty sure the feud is going to continue. So let's see. Full Metal Mayhem match for the tag titles with the Luchadors in there as well. Would be cool. Yeah. Of course it's BS. You can clearly see he accidentally fell on Sanjay. Sure, he didn't care about it afterwards. Why would he? They never showed signs of a friendship. Yeah, well, obviously the injury happened by accident, but they tried to do something with that, try to turn it into an angle. And there are ways you can do that. Problem is, Sanjay isn't really charismatic enough as a speaker to really sell it. He just says, "Oh, low-key feels threatened by me." He needs a better argument than that. Okay, you can do something with this injury angle, but you just got to know how to explain it the proper way. Fortunately, Sanjay just didn't really know how to do it. I like Low-Key's Hitman attire, but you can tell he should take it off when he's wrestling because you can tell he's suffocating. I don't know how the hell he wrestles in that suit. That guy must be sweating so much. Man, I when I wear a suit, I feel like I'm dead from the neck down, man. I don't know how the hell he does what he does in that thing. Must feel like such a relief when he takes the jacket off. He whips the jacket off to do the Warriors way at the end. God, I would be sweating bullets. That is going to be so uncomfortable. To be low-key dresses like Slender Man. Ever watched Scrubs? I wasn't like a. I didn't watch it religiously. I've seen a number of episodes though. It's a funny show. I like the story of Sanjay never winning the X title. It makes the title more special. Not everyone have to win the title. It's not kindergarten. Not everybody gets a star. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. My opinion, you got to have certain people in every division who just never win the championship. Because it's supposed to be a prestigious thing that not everyone is good enough to hold. And, a while back we got to a place where every member of the knockout division had been the champion multiple times, and at that point the title just didn't mean anything anymore. Because it wasn't a prestigious prize that only the best were good enough to hold. At that point it was just a revolving door championship that everybody gets a turn with. But if you've got certain people that are just never win the big one because they're just not good enough, well, that makes the title something important, something prestigious, because you have to be the best in order to hold it. And I sympathize with Sanjay, but look, I mean, if it's a belt that only the best are good enough to hold it, okay. I understand that. Sanjay's whole thing, never a bridesmaid, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Like maybe there's a reason for that. Just saying, maybe there's a reason the guy was always a utility player. No disrespect, I'm just keeping it real here. Duck could turn heel if he doesn't win, which would make sense. Yeah, I guess. We kind of done the whole heel Sanjay thing. It never really went anywhere. Plus, they're going to India starting next week. It doesn't make sense to turn him heel now with them going to India. Okay. Spud beating the shit out of Hornswoggle was the funniest thing ever. I have wanted to see somebody beat the shit out of Hornswoggle for a long time. So yeah. I miss Robbie E. Oh dear God. Because I missed your rants on him. The Thanksgiving episode from 2013 is still my favorite video of yours. So you want Robbie E back just so you can see me complain about him? Is that all I am to you? You just want me to be miserable so you can laugh at my pain? Impact is finally advertising shows. Heck, they've been promoting Slammiversary 3 months in advance, and now it feels special. What a concept. Yeah, I know, right? If you actually promote something, you might make people excited to see it. Who would have thought? Okay. This was a disappointing show. I would argue against that. Main event was great. EC3 segment was great. I think minus the GFW stuff, the show was good. They should do live events at least once a week. Go to smaller venues. Collaborate with brother promotions to garner local fans. That way it's a win-win situation for everybody. Well, once a week I think is getting ahead of themselves. They got to walk before they can run. They haven't done live events in a long time. They don't know if they can draw a crowd for a live event. That's why I said start small. announce one, promote the shit out of it, see if you can draw a crowd for it. If that pays off, do another one. Don't announce like going back on the road full time and like doing one every week. This is what killed them last time they tried this. They got way ahead of themselves. They thought they could do more than they could, and they emptied their bank account. Just take baby steps. Just do one and put everything you've got into that one live event, and then think about another one. GFW crap needs to go. Agreed. King of the Mountain should be brought back. It's a stupid stipulation, but it's a TNA staple. Well, yeah, I'm not saying the rules didn't need to be simplified or whatever. I'd like to see them simplify it, but I am a fan of the match, and we haven't seen it in a while too. So that's one of the few gimmick matches that they haven't beaten into the damn ground. So I would like to see King of the Mountain back. Where am I now? Lashley or Alberto could pull a NATO and toss the GFW title in the air or stomp on the GFW title and break it. That would be awesome. I'd love to see that, but Jeff Jarrett would never let it happen. Because he's still deluding himself into thinking that GFW was the greatest thing ever. I really miss those little clips you used to do, like the one of you running into the bathroom to throw up. I kind of miss those too. Can't really do them in a streaming format, though, unfortunately. Would like to bring those back in some capacity, though. There's no Biff, KM this week. No hello, anybody there think McFly. Yeah, I feel like there should have been something at the end of the Alley match. Like, bring out Sienna and LVN and Biff and Congo. It's kind of strange that they didn't show up. I felt like there was something missing there. Maybe they felt bad for Hornswoggle because he's much smaller than Spud. Well, Hornswoggle still brought that on his damn self. Why the hell did he attack Spud in the first place? I don't know. But he shouldn't have been doing that shit in the first place. As far as I'm concerned, the little shit brought that on himself. I'm not going to feel sorry for him. New Mutants movie looks like it's going to focus on the origin stories and powers rather than just skipping the origins and facing some generic villain. Possibly. The synopsis I heard was it's going to be like a bunch of, like the New Mutants are captive in some kind of facility and they have to escape, which doesn't sound like it has much of a basis in any of the New Mutant comics I remember, and I have most of the original run of the New Mutants over here. I don't know. Everything that I'm hearing about the New Mutants movie just makes me think they've got it completely wrong. I don't have high hopes for that one. Would you be willing to do a quick review of Wonder Woman near the end of the video? Already kind of talked about Wonder Woman. It's in there. Just rewind the video a little bit when it gets uploaded. But I talked about Wonder Woman. Long story short, it's a good movie. Go see it. Still kind of funny that even during Rosemary's heel run, she got more cheers from fans than Gale. Yeah. Still makes me laugh about how like the one night only show from last year, where Gail comes out how she's pissed off, she's trying to recover, saying, "Oh yeah, this injury's taken a lot longer than I thought to recover from," and she's trying to garner sympathy for herself. And then Rosemary comes out, punks her out, says, "Your career's over," and by the end of the match, the fans were chanting like, "Thank you." The fans were chanting for Rosemary by the end of it. By the end of the match with Sienna. I think people have been wanting Rosemary to turn face for a while. So they're just, this is just the way the wind is blowing right now. So I kind of think Gail has to be a heel when she comes back. Because she's training for the return right now. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to follow up on the Rosemary thing. Because they're kind of playing it up like Rosemary was responsible for Gail being injured, even though she wasn't. So there was some retroactive continuity. There was some retconning going on there. So is Gail going to come back as a heel and go after Rosemary? I don't know. I would prefer they just not go there. You want to bring Gail back? Okay, just put her in a storyline that keeps her out of the title picture. I don't think she doesn't need to be there anymore. Let Rosemary and Allie just do their thing, because they've got a fun feud here with Sienna and LVN. Let's just focus on that. No need to involve Gail in that. No need to involve Gail in that. What if Rosemary uses Allie like Maria did, even to the point where Allie coming out in a zombie makeup, they can even take a dig at Matt and make Allie broken? It might be getting too far away from the Allie character. I would be very hesitant to make any radical changes to it. Honestly, I'm fine if they don't really define what exactly Rosemary's fascination with Allie is for a while. I think not knowing what it is part of the fun. A thought I had today is if they kind of play it up like sort of a love triangle. Maybe have like Rosemary start to seduce Allie away from Braxton Sutter. Not in a sexual way or anything, but just as kind of like her coming between them, and maybe having Allie go off with Rosemary and kind of leave Sutter. Because I think like saying, no, Rosemary's just my friend, Braxton. We're just, she's teaching me a lot of stuff and everything. And she starts ignoring Braxton and always hanging out with Rosemary instead. And Sutter getting kind of butthurt about it. I think that would be kind of fun. Because I think people would be more interested in seeing Allie with Rosemary than Sutter, to be honest. We'll see. When is Diamante going to wrestle? They seem to always keep the new knockout talents away from the ring, which is really annoying. I don't know. I thought they were going to do something with Diamante and Rosemary, but that didn't happen. They don't really have a place for Diamante in the knockout division right now. I guess they're kind of taking the Rosemary direction with her, where Rosemary didn't wrestle immediately either. They just focused on getting her character over, so when she did start wrestling, it meant something, and that worked really well. So I'm okay with Diamante not getting in the ring just yet, as long as they're featuring her and having her do stuff. So when there's a spot for her, when something opens up, they can put her in there. But right now, I don't think she's needed in the knockout division at present time. But in the future, when they need to freshen up the roster and insert somebody new into a spot there, they've got Diamante there, and people will know her from LAX, be familiar with her. So it's not like just putting in somebody completely fresh. So I don't think they need to debut her in the knockout roster right away. Although hopefully they won't wait too long, because she's really damn talented. I haven't seen the Ghostbusters remake. It'll be a while before I swallow that blade. Dude, don't even bother with it. Don't even bother. It's not worth your time. That is not a good movie. Thoughts on Tom Hardy as Venom? I had said this before. I think it's good casting. I can buy Tom Hardy as Venom, but I have absolutely zero faith in that movie, because that's not Sony doing a Venom spin-off movie because they think they can do it right. It's Sony doing a Venom spin-off movie so they can keep the Spider-Man rights from diverting back to Marvel. It's the only reason why they're doing it. And you can they say they want to be filming by the end of the by fall, and they don't even have a script yet. You can tell all the warning signs are there that they are rushing this thing out of the gate, and Marvel's not going to be involved apparently, and Tom Holland probably won't be involved either. So they're not even going to have Spider-Man in it. And how the hell can you do a Venom origin movie without Spider-Man? You can't. The only way you do it is if you completely change the origin. And how many times have we seen that when you change the fucking origin, all you do is piss the fans off? So I'm sorry, I have zero faith in this movie. I think it's going to suck. And I feel bad for saying that because I like Tom Hardy a lot. Dude's a badass actor. And I like the Venom character. Not so high on what they've done with him in the comics recently. But I think Tom Hardy deserves better. I think the Venom character deserves better. I'd love to see Venom in a good Spider-Man movie, but that's not what we're getting. So fuck Sony and fuck Amy Pascal. But I have zero faith. I think the movie's going to suck. I think with all the critical praise of Wonder Woman, I expected better, but it was just a Thor Captain type movie, but with a really bad final battle. I'm not saying the movie was perfect. I'm saying they got the important stuff right. They got the character right, and they got the themes right. And, yeah, so I agree. The final battle got a little too CG heavy. Could have been better. But overall, it got the important stuff right that I think the Snyder movies missed out on. So I think this was a big step in the right direction. I think they could hopefully improve upon that in the sequel. But I liked Wonder Woman. GFW tag title match is very confusing. Josh repeatedly said that the match was no DQ, but all I saw was LAX cheating behind the referee pretty much the entire match. Were they going behind the referee's back? I don't know. When all five of them teamed up on Wilcox, that seemed pretty blatant. Was the referee not looking during that? I don't know. Wonder Woman is a bit overhyped. The stuff with Ares was meh, but was trying to be smarter than it really was. Rather, they just had the entire movie in the Amazons. Yeah, I agree. Ares was probably one of the weaker things about the movie. I don't know. Opinions may vary on this. I thought overall the movie was got a lot more right than it got wrong. You couldn't really say about Batman v Superman. You know, they didn't turn they didn't turn Wonder Woman into a murderer like they did with Batman. You know, it's completely against his character. No. Let's see. They need to make Allie more aggressive in the ring. I think they're doing that. You saw her get aggressive and angry in the match with Amber Nova there. She showed signs of having more of a being more proactive in the ring, having more fire in there. So I think that's again, that's just progressing the character. And did I just lose the damn stream now? No, we're still okay. Okay. I wish they would do something with Tyrus. Okay, agree to disagree. I wish they would do nothing with Tyrus. Okay, what do you think about Charlotte Flair, Carmella, Tamina, Natalya, and Becky Lynch in the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match? I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad to see the women getting an opportunity like that. I'm not sure what Tamina's going to add to that. I don't think Tamina's very good. Or Carmella for that matter. Of course, I'm not watching SmackDown, so I'm not incredibly familiar with all this. I would probably swap out Carmella or Tamina and put in Asuka. Think that'd be a much better match. It is nice that they're making use of their entire women's roster, SmackDown is. Whereas with Raw, they kind of just focus on a couple of girls at a time. So, yeah, that's good. I'm glad the Divas aren't completely disposable anymore like they used to be. So it's cool. I'm happy for them. And a whole bunch of new comments all at once. Let's see. Would be cool if low-key brought up Sanjay's guru character holding him up, like he's not ruthless enough and if he wins, it's a fluke. I don't think that would be a good idea, because if low-key brought that up, I think people would probably believe him. Because low-key is a much more effective talker. He's more charismatic, he's more convincing on the microphone, and if he said that, I don't think Sanjay would have a good rebuttal. At least not one that would be convincing. I think people would be more inclined to side with Loki if he said something like that. And they'd just be like, yeah, Loki's got a point. Sanjay doesn't really have a case. So I think that would be ill-advised, because Sanjay just wouldn't have much of a retort. Spud beatdown of Hornswoggle was purely cathartic. Yeah. Thoughts on what could happen on The Flash in the beginning of Season 4? Oh, Jesus. I really don't know, nor do I care very much. I'm just glad I don't have to watch The Flash now. My guess is they'll bring Barry back pretty quickly, probably by the end of the season premiere. Which, why you would even want that character back, I don't know. I've said this so many times. If they got rid of Barry and just made Wally the Flash, the show would be better for it. Because Wally's a better character, he's a better superhero, and he's a better person, quite frankly. Barry is just intolerable. So fuck Barry, but they're probably going to bring him back by the end of the season premiere. That's my prediction. How serious would it be if TNA lost Bobby Lashley to WWE? It would be pretty bad. I don't think it'll happen, because if Lashley went back to WWE, he wouldn't be able to fight in MMA anymore. At least, not frequently. I think, Lesnar struck some kind of deal where he was able to have that fight. The UFC 200, I think. That was a special case. Plus, it's because it's Brock Lesnar. Bobby Lashley. I don't know if they'd allow Bobby Lashley to continue fighting in Bellator if he went back to WWE. Plus, the schedule is a lot more intense. So I think he's got a good thing with Impact where he comes in for a few TV tapings out of the year, he wrestles, and then he works on MMA the rest of the time. And I think that works for him. Because when you go to WWE, you sign with them, they pretty much have to become your whole life. And I don't think that's what Lashley is looking for. I think he kind of likes doing both. So I don't think they have to worry about Lashley going to WWE. They might have to worry about him just leaving Impact and focusing on MMA. But losing him to WWE, I'm not concerned about that. Eli Drake versus KM. How entertaining would that be? Not as entertaining as them teaming up and just doing promos and stuff. That would be even better. If Rosemary and Allie did get sexual, I wouldn't complain. Oh, neither would I. Who would complain about that? Rosemary had a couple of backstage interactions with Jade that were oddly sexual. Remember that scene in the rafters? That pre-tape that they did? Remember the in-ring promo where Jade's like, and Jade kind of like, kind of kisses the tongue thing there. Wasn't any actual contact, but it was vaguely sexual. If they wanted to do some stuff like that with Rosemary and Allie, I'd be on board with it. I'm down. Diamante has a really bad injury. Not really. I heard she dislocated her elbow, but from what I heard, it would only take a couple of weeks to heal, and she's not in a sling or anything anymore. So I don't think it was that bad. Okay. Do you miss Minnie Moose? No, I do not. No, I do not. Her husband's apparently signed with ROH. Hopefully he'll take Minnie Moose with him. So she's not our problem anymore. What happened to the dude who was in the triple threat with Everett and Seidel? You mean Desmond Xavier? I think he's still there. I heard he got signed. So I guess he's just waiting for a spot to open up. On reflection, how serious was the loss of AJ Styles? I mean, it hurt them. There's no doubt about that. I think anyone who thought the loss of AJ was going to kill the company was being premature. Because I don't think there's any one person, the loss of any one person is going to kill a company or make the company, for that matter. I mean, sure, damage was done, but, you know, new people come in to fill the hole, and ultimately, you know, they continued on, and they didn't really... How do I say this? I think it hurt them in the short term, but in the long term, they've done a good job of filling the void, you know? I'm sure they lament losing AJ Styles, but I think at this stage of the game, it's probably time for everybody to just move on. Because, yeah. I think it hurt, but I think they've more or less recovered, honestly. And a whole bunch of new comments here. Let's try to wrap this up, because I don't know how much longer my voice is going to last. Are they building to a GFW versus Impact Wrestling stable feud or not? I don't understand the booking at the moment. No, I think they're just building up to unifying the titles. GFW versus Impact stable feud. No, they kind of already did that during the whole GFW invasion, and that didn't really go well. So I don't think they'd be inclined to do that again. Of course, it is Jeff Jarrett doing the booking now, so who knows? No, I think they're just going to unify the titles and hopefully move on with this. Diamante is an awesome talent, yet you don't see her wrestle very much. Well, there isn't a lot... There just really isn't a spot for her to wrestle right now. I don't have a problem with her not wrestling as long as she's being featured. Because that's, you know, same tactic they used with Rosemary. She didn't wrestle for a while, but they got her character over, so when she did start wrestling, it meant something. So I got no problem with them taking the slow approach as long as it's effective. They could make the new Venom John Jameson. Start out in space, as in a space movie. They could have a cameo with Peter Parker. Mostly it would be a good turning evil, trying to be good again. Yeah, well, see, right there, you've completely changed the origin. John Jameson was never Venom. So you by changing the origin, you've changed the whole character. And you'd need more than a cameo with Peter Parker, because Venom's origin is completely tied into Peter Parker. Peter had the symbiote first. And there's a whole lot of backstory and build-up that leads to the creation of Venom. And if all you've got is a cameo by Peter, well, it's pretty much the same as not having him at all. It kind of seems like they want to bypass the backstory and just go right to Venom. But by doing that, you've changed the origin, you've changed the whole character. Even if it's still Eddie Brock, it doesn't really matter at that point. I maintain, I have zero faith in that Venom movie. I'm sorry. That movie is going to suck. Silver Sable and Black Cat movie from Sony. Great, right? Yeah, that movie's going to suck too. Giving Spider-Man side characters their own movie without Spider-Man when you haven't even introduced them in Spider-Man yet. They are fucking desperate to hold on to those to that Spider-Man license. And honestly, I hope those movies bomb. I hope Venom tanks. I hope Silver and Black tanks, Because hopefully Sony would get so frustrated that they just sell the Spider-Man rights back to Marvel, and then they can start doing right by the Spider-Man license, because Marvel's the only one who knows how to fucking do it right. Does it annoy you seeing so many old TNA talents doing well in WWE? Does it annoy me? No, I'm happy for them. Those guys like AJ and Joe and Bobby Roode, they've worked hard for a long time. They deserve to get rich. I'm happy for them. Yeah, it hurts Impact in the short term, but Impact has done a good job of filling the holes. So I don't harbor any ill will towards those guys. Okay. AJ was a big loss, but Impact has thrived since then, and to be honest, it was better for both sides that they split. AJ is a bigger star. Impact has so many great overall performers now. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Vindication for years of obnoxious comedy and terrible storylines. In my head, I'm like, that's for the anonymous GM, that's for the bastard son angle, and your balls for the cruiserweight division. You know, I actually like the anonymous GM, just because it was Michael Cole and a laptop, and I got a kick out of that stuff. They turned stupid when they revealed that Hornswoggle was the anonymous GM the whole time, and I'm pretty sure there was stuff before that completely contradicted that, but I don't remember it. But shit. Sorry, it's allergy season. Did you watch the YouTube channel Abby? She had a great interview with Rosemary. No, I have not seen that. If you could re-sign one male and one female Impact wrestler from the past, who would you pick? One male? Oh, God. One male? I don't know, maybe Bobby Roode or Samoa Joe. One female? Well, Kaylee Ray was never signed, even though she was in British Bootcamp. We don't really know what Brooke's status is, if she's gone or if she's still there. Let's say Taryn Terrell. Yeah. Even if Gail comes back as a heel, she would still be the focus and go through the entire division again. Yeah, that's my concern. I'm hoping things might be different now, but who really knows? I'm hoping she won't be the focus anymore, but I don't know. This is the same creative team that booked the Knockout division like the Worship at the Altar of Gail Kim division, so I'm not terribly optimistic about that. Do you watch House of Cards? I binge-watched House of Cards last year. I've seen everything so far. Binge-watched it over a couple weeks. It's a good show. Not really something that I anticipate very much, but it feels very timely right now. Well, with everything that's going on in the White House currently, it feels like they could be very... they can do some very interesting socio-political commentary with that show. So I'm really interested. I'm interested to see what they do this season. Okay. All right, get your final questions and comments in right now, so we can wrap this up in a minute. See, Batman 89 had a change in origin, Joker killing Bruce's parents and all, but the movie still rocked. Wolverine wasn't supposed to be a 6-foot Aussie. Now I can't think of anyone else but Hugh Jackman. Those were changes in the origin, but not so much that they completely changed the character. And you can make Joker the murderer of Bruce Wayne's parents instead of Joe Chill, but all the important stuff about the characters still remains the same. All you've really done is tie in Joker to Batman's origin, which is not that far, not really out of the question since that's his greatest villain anyway. With making Wolverine a 6-foot, played by a 6-foot Australian, all you've really done is change Wolverine's height. He's still Canadian in the movie. Changing his height doesn't mean anything. In the case of Venom, what they're planning on doing is probably going to change the entire character by removing his backstory from the comics, most likely changing it to something completely different. Because you're not going to be able to do, if you're not going to have Spider-Man, then you're not going to have the Black Costume saga. You're pretty much going to be removing Venom's entire motivation. So you're going to have to change everything about the character. With those changes to Wolverine and Batman 89, the character was still the same. What they're planning to do with Venom, the character will not be the same. And that's what's going to kill it. Let's see, Wonder Woman fought Doomsday, so her fighting regular people was not interesting, and the slow-mo, every action scene's, I think there was one action scene where Patty Jenkins tried to emulate the Zack Snyder slow-mo, turns into speed up, turns into slow-mo thing. I think it was only in one scene, though. It was a little... It did kind of stick out when I saw it, but I think it was only in one scene. Yeah, she fought Doomsday, but that was 70 years after where this movie is taking place, so you can say that she hasn't really leveled up yet, so she's still kind of weak. I agree. I think if they had done this before, if we'd seen this before the fight with Doomsday, that would have worked a lot better. But that just goes back to Batman v Superman being idiotic and using Doomsday when they really didn't need it. They didn't need Doomsday. They didn't need Wonder Woman in that movie, quite frankly. All they needed was Batman versus Superman. But that movie was trying to be like 5, 6, 7 different things all at the same time. I think Wonder Woman greatly benefited from just being a Wonder Woman origin story and not trying to be anything else. It just kept the focus nice and tight, whereas BVS had no focus. It was trying to be all things at once. Okay. I love the anonymous GM stuff. What are you looking at? Why are you looking at me like that, Edge? You got the crazy eyes again. Yeah, I admit I kind of like the anonymous GM stuff too. It was dumb, but it was it was funny. Just Michael Cole with the fucking laptop. It was ridiculous, but that's kind of why it worked for me anyway. Venom needs Spider-Man in the movie to make sense. Yeah, exactly. It also needs like a ton of build-up and backstory to get to the Venom payoff. I think they just want to do the Venom movie immediately right out of the gate without setting it up first. Is Gail actually with the company or not? Not currently. She's not currently under contract, as I understand it. But I think she's still on the roster page, still in the intro, because they know she's coming back. So they're not even bothering to take her out. I would say Wonder Woman is the second best Warner Bros. DC movie has ever made, only The Dark Knight is better. I wouldn't go that far. I'd say Batman Begins is also better. Not sure where it rates against Dark Knight Rises, but yeah. Okay. Dalton Castle's contract is expiring this month. Do you think he'd find his place on Impact? I think they could make a place for him. I like Dalton Castle. He's one of the few people in ROH that actually has a personality and stands out. So if they try to sign him, I'd be fine with that. Wouldn't say no to Dalton Castle. Every time you have a bad day, think of Hornswoggle taking a hammer to the balls. Yeah, that's a thought that can keep me warm at night. What is the Rockstar Spud angle leading to? I have no idea. Diamante versus Rosemary should be the match at Slammiversary. Well, not if they're planning on unifying the two women's titles. She kind of has to be wrestling Sienna or whoever the GFW Women's Champion happens to be when Slammiversary comes around. I think we should have seen a Rosemary versus Diamante match. I'm not sure why that never happened, because they were obviously setting it up, and then we just never got it. I feel like there's unfinished business between those two now. Maybe they'll return to that later on, but I agree. We should have seen Diamante versus Rosemary by now. The Venom thing feels too reminiscent of Fox making Fat Four Stick to keep the rights, and unsurprisingly, it sucked major ass and deservedly tanked at the box office. Yeah. All the warning signs are there. They're saying they want it to be a hard R, but kind of take place within the same universe as the Spider-Man, as in the Spider-Man movies, but somehow not in the same universe as the MCU. So it's kind of ancillary MCU or something. So it's kind of in the same universe as Spider-Man, but it's going to be hard R, which is going to be completely tonally inconsistent with the way this new Spider-Man movie is shaping up. All the warning signs are there. I'm sorry, that movie is going to suck. Because Sony just don't know how to do it right. They're not doing it for the right reasons. They're just doing it to keep the damn rights. Disagree. Alexa Bliss is the best talker in all of WWE. She's probably one of the better ones. Who has a more disturbing origin story, Magic or Danny Moonstar? Oh, Magic. I mean, the demon bear stuff is something that could probably really screw a person up. But Magic lived in hell for half her life. So yeah, the Magic wins. Best female talker. I don't know. Have you heard Nikki Storm's promos? Nikki Storm can cut a great fucking promo. Or Nikki Cross now. I keep killing her. She'll always be Nikki Storm to me. You think Big Cass will turn on Enzo Amore? That would be my guess. Kind of seems like they're setting that up. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that too, actually. Enzo is this guy. Enzo's got the biggest fucking mouth, but he's always getting his ass kicked, even though he talks like the biggest badass in the room. So I would love for Cass to turn on him before they ever win the tag team titles, just because I think they're really annoying as a tag team. Not that they're a necessarily bad tag team. I just think personality-wise they annoy me. So I'd love to see Cass turn heel on Enzo. Hashtag counterfeit G. Kaylee Ray is a better talker than Bayley. Yeah, I think most people are better talkers than Bayley, because Bayley as a talker sucks. Rosemary should just be the Jane Cena of the division, just destroying people. I think Rosemary should be the Undertaker of the Knockout division. I think that's a better comparison. And, okay, that is going to do it. I got to get out of here. Got to go to Walmart, get some stuff. So, good talk today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Probably best if I end this before my voice gives out again. So, again, thanks for tuning in. I will talk to you guys next Saturday unless I have to work. If I have to change the date of the stream, there's always a notice on Twitter. So follow me for updates at TheRealFK9, and I will talk to you guys soon. Later.